A tour of my over 300 bottle fragrance collection. Let's start off on the bottom here. We have some TikTok shop hype beasts that we got sent to us, a bunch of dupes and Middle Eastern fragrances, even the SpongeBob cologne, a bunch of Rayhan fragrances. My favorite is still Lion. We got some really wonky looking bottles, but this one's actually really good. Cutlage Island, Latafa Camra, even my own fragrance, Nefertum Parfums, is down here. And some other miscellaneous stuff. There actually is the famous Five Below Lagai back there, if you can see it. Here on the second shelf is where I keep a lot of my designers, some niche fragrances. This one is really good. It's from Nishane. It's really underrated, but it's way too feminine. Bunch of Azzaros, Pradas, Mercedes Club Black that I decanted, a bunch of Jean Paul Gaultier, extra Jean Paul Gaultier, Dior's. Almost the entire YSL Y line, including the discontinued ones. I'm only missing YEDP, a bunch of the Versace Eroses, Bleu de Chanel EDT and EDP, some sniff fragrances, and just some other miscellaneous stuff. We have a bunch of these brand new boxed fragrances like La Bola Parfum, Prada L'Homme, Strong With You Intensely. And away from my fragrance collection over here, we have all these really empty bottles, including the OG batch of Strong With You Intensely, which actually still has a decent amount of juice left. Okay, yeah, that's not a decent amount, but it still has juice left. And when I tell you the OG batch of Strong With You Intensely is literally the exact same, I promise there's no difference. We have an empty Latafa Camra, empty Le Beau, some 30 mLs that I just don't put in my collection, empty Goldfield and Banks, some Louis Vuitton boxes, some hair mist from Latafa Camra, some 10 ml samples, some miniatures, and Greenly, empty Greenly. As you can probably tell, these are very dusty. But right next to all this is all the boxes. Now, I do actually keep almost every single box. I started actually throwing away tons of boxes. But for some reason, for the longest time, I could not throw away boxes. I probably have over 200 boxes here just piled up on this shelf. If you remember that this was my actual OG shelf. I had this shelf for so long. I actually found it in the dumpster. When I first started making fragrance content, I had this shelf forever, bro. I really love this shelf. If you know, you know. We have the JPG tower. You guys can probably see in there, see a bunch of things that I can't even see because I just have my phone held up super high. Anyways, getting onto the good part, we have our niche fragrance shelf. Now, there are some designers here and just like miscellaneous stuff, but we have all our Xerjoffs lined up here. I actually hate Xerjoff, but I'm starting to like them a little bit more. Jeremy fragrances, Goldfield and Banks, a bunch of 200 ml MFKs, Kilian, the world's strongest fragrance, All My City Rhythms, SHLs, private lines, more private line, and just a bunch of other stuff. This is Sospiro, aka a better version of Xerjoff. Also, my two artistic niche fragrances, both of them are actually really bad. And hiding back there, we have Blue Talisman, which is super hyped. I don't get why. I'm not a big fan of it. Moving up to my favorite shelf, on the right we have our Tom Fords, our 3 Tom Fords. I actually do have a couple other Tom Fords, but these are the ones that I like. This one is amazing. It's probably one of my favorites ever. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. All my PDMs here. I have a ton of Parfums de Marly fragrances. I love the house. I'll never have as much as Ryex, but these are great fragrances. In the back here, I got my Louis Vuittons, Imagination, Afternoon Swim, Le Monde, Pacific Chill, all in the 200 ml size. And then we got Symphony. They only had the 100 ml, but I can't even imagine what a 200 ml would cost. This is probably still my favorite fragrance of all time. I don't know what can ever really beat it. Then we have Blonde Amber, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know why I still keep it up here. Halfeti, which I love. The Chrome Hearts fragrance, which a lot of you guys seem to forget that I actually own. But this fragrance is not that good in my opinion. It's not bad. All my Creed fragrances, including my favorite one, VIW, Absolute Aventus, Silver Mountain Water, Aventus Cologne, and a few others. Some Mind Games fragrances, a Minicio fragrances back there, a full Parfums de Marly 75 ml that I just don't want to put in here because these are 125s. 2 Kilian fragrances, and right here is my rare Creed original vetiver from 2011, or I don't remember, something like that, I don't know. It's an OG batch when they have the plastic caps and the pressurized atomizers. It doesn't smell that good. I like the smell, it just doesn't last long, but it's not great. And then we have one of my favorites, Wave Child. For one point, this was my favorite fragrance, but it just doesn't last long enough. Oh my goodness. It smells amazing though. We got my Bond number 9 fragrances here. Shout out to Bond. They are one of my favorite teams to work with. I just love Bond number 9. Their fragrances are amazing. We got some Rosias here. I'm actually not a fan of Rosia, but to be fair, I haven't really smelled any of their good fragrances. And that is pretty much it. I do have this little box of samples right here with a bunch of fragrances that I really want to try or just really I'm interested in. I don't know, but that's pretty much it for my collection. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you boys later. Peace.